to chat live. Go to YouTube. Y'all know the deal. What's up, everybody? I am live. Okay, there we go. All right, let's pin this. I wish you could do all this before going live, but actually, as a matter of fact, you can. You go to practice. I hope everybody's doing well. If you are just joining, please go to YouTube at Jasmine K Boxing. If you want to talk and chat live with me, this is where you can catch me. Chance Livingston is on live YouTube. What's up, Jazz? I'm trying to take you on a date. Oh, okay. At the current moment, I'm not dating. I'm not even thinking about dating. Rick, go to YouTube for me, okay? And go to Jasmine K Boxing and chat live there. Usually on Wednesdays, I try to focus primarily on YouTube and everybody that comes over there and subscribes and joins the chat. And everybody that's on Instagram, I try to redirect y'all to YouTube so I can get my streams up. I can get my subscribers up. Yeah, we can talk boxing that way. But I got a list of things that we're going to talk about today. Yesterday, I jumped on live for about 30 minutes just to see what y'all were talking about, see where the conversation was going to lead us today. And it seems as though everybody wants to recap the 5 versus 5, Matchroom versus Queensberry, as well as talk about a potential replacement for Boots, as Crowley has dropped out. Had to drop out because he failed his eye exam. I don't know how many eye exams Crowley has been doing at this point, but I find it hard to believe that all of a sudden he fails an eye exam for potentially the biggest fight of his career. But that's neither here or there. He's out, so who's going to be in? Boots says that he is continuing on and he is going to make the fight happen regardless of who the opponent is, and that it is going to be a championship style fight. So, yeah, we're going to get into it. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. I want to know who you think he should be fighting, who the replacement should be. On such short notice, that fight was scheduled for July. I'm not sure what the exact date was, but I know that it was in July. We can go to Jalil Hatchet fight in H-Town. I did say I don't do dates. I'm not dating right now. Very tempting, but I'm not dating. Yeah, Crowley fell because he ain't want to see them 5 rounds coming at him. That was witty. Yeah, my belief is that they have, I got to play the politics a little bit. My belief is that there's a bigger matchup to be made because, like I said, I just find it hard to believe that all of a sudden he fails this eye exam that he's been taking how many times now? Very odd. Very odd. So, yeah. Let me get my Can y'all hear my neighbors upstairs? They're so loud. But yes, like I said, I got a list of things that I'm going to run down. You guys let me know what you want to talk about. If anybody wants to jump in the chat, let me know. And I will send an invite to your email. So if you want to come on live and you want to show your face, let me know in the comments, both on YouTube and on Instagram, and I'll add you guys in that way. Okay, but like I said, for everybody that's just jumping in that are on Instagram, I'm redirecting you guys to YouTube, please, so that I can get my subscribers up. And Wednesdays are usually focused on YouTube and chatting that way. So far, I got Chance Livingston in the chats, nobody else. Jasmine K Boxing on YouTube. All you gotta do is just jump off real quick, go to YouTube, Jasmine K Boxing, and join us live there. Okay, join us live there. I will greatly appreciate it. We got 2 people on the live right now. Okay, I got to do something about my backdrop. I'm sorry, guys. The exposure is crazy right now. The exposure is crazy. Yes, okay. Let's see, how does that look? All right, so let's get into it. Ocho, what's popping? What is popping? So like I said, if you guys want to join live, if you actually want to come in on a video chat, just go ahead and drop your email address and I'll send the invite. Otherwise, you can add your request here as well on Instagram, and then I'll add you guys that way. And that way I have audio for YouTube. But let's dive straight into it. Let's talk about the 5 versus 5 that just took place this past weekend. We had Matchroom versus Queensberry. Not what I predicted. I did not predict that Queensberry was going to sweep Matchroom in the style that they did. Hats off to them. Great performances across the board. Every fight, for the most part, was really, really good. And I only say for the most part because I didn't tune in from the first bell to the last bell for every single fight. But the good majority of the fights I tuned into, I think there was like 8 to 10 fights total, something like that. 5 of which were actually Queensberry versus Matchroom. Bivol was not one of those fights because, well, Bivol signed a Matchroom, right? I feel like Bivol wasn't one of. No, he was. No, he wasn't because they didn't count. Bivol won. So I'm not sure. I can't remember why that fight wasn't considered in the 5 versus 5. Maybe because Better Biv didn't fight. I'm not sure. Because I believe Bivol is with Matchroom. I thought he was with Top Rank, but he's not with Top Rank. Nonetheless, great card. Supposedly, we are getting another 5 versus 5 card this October-ish, November, to take place either in Saudi Arabia again or to take place in the UK. As far as I know, Saudi Arabia has sold out. They put on a phenomenal production for what I was able to see behind the cameras, on camera, I mean. So fighting in the UK, I'm sure the production level will be to the same standard, but we will see. Okay, I got some people in the chat. Welcome. We got Thrill. You in the building. You heard? I heard. Not Thrill Al-Ashik. Get out of here. He not a part of the 5 versus 5. Better be even him was the main card. Okay. Herkovich lost me some money. He went right hand crazy. Yeah, I thought Herkovich was going to put up a better fight than what he did. I really did. Okay, so Bivol's with neither. That's why. I didn't know that. Thank you, Darren Wallace, and welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live. So yes, Bivol took care of business coming into this fight. I think a lot of us were concerned with, him still fighting at a high level and what the matchup would look like with him going up against Better Biv. But now that he got the job done, he got a knockout fight, a knockout win. And I think it's been 5+ fights, 8+ fights, something like that. I'm excited for the matchup between him and Better Biv. I was already on the fence as to who I was going towards and who I was picking as the winner. I'm still leaning towards Bivol. I do think that it is a 50-50 fight. I'm giving Bivol the edge because one thing that I like about him and that he reinforced for me in this last fight is that We already know him to be a technical fighter. We know him to be fundamentally sound. The skills are there. He sticks to the script, and very rarely do we see him deviate. And Saturday night, that's exactly what he did. He came in, he was himself. He did not change, regardless of the style that was in front of him, regardless of what was coming at him. He stuck to the jab. He threw his combinations when they were there. He was very selective of his punch placement and his punch selection. And I mean, he got the knockout. So to me, it shows that the power's there. He showed discipline. I mean, he was in shape. So I just think that he's going to wear Better Biv down. And if you guys disagree, let me know in the chat why you disagree. Bivol got to be with Matchroom because Eddie promoted the Zordo fight. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they did like a co-promoter contract or something like that. I'm not sure. But if you guys are just joining on Instagram, do me a favor, go to YouTube, Jasmine K Boxing, and join us live there. I'll be answering all your chats on YouTube. Bivol is with Matchroom. Okay. So it must have been that it wasn't considered 5 versus 5 for him on the scorecards because he was supposed to go up against Better Biv, and Better Biv is not with either. He's with Top Rank. So there's that. I'm not sure who Zordo's with. You're spot on. Outspoken 520 boxing. You're spot on. Bivol is a special talent. Yes. And he's showing us that he is still here to stay, that he is still a force in the light heavyweight division. I think he got a few more years before he exits out. And I think with some of the guys coming from super middleweight and stepping up to light heavyweight, I think that there's still a lot of good fights for him that would be motivating for him to make the weight to fight those fights. And I think there's some good money on the table for him still. Obviously, we have to see the Better Biv match and see if he can get past him. Better Biv in 10. He can box, which is underrated, and Bivol can't fight him on the inside. If he do, he not waking up till Monday. That was Chance Livingston. Okay, Michael Brown. Sorry to change the subject, but how do you see Wilder's future? We're going to get to that, okay? Be patient. We're going to get to that. Thrill, it was always separate from the 5 versus 5. Okay, got it. David Rodriguez, welcome to the chat. Ortiz versus Boots next. Wouldn't be upset at that. We're going to get to that, though. So to close it out, as far as the Bivol versus Zordo match and what's coming up with him going up against Better Biv and still being a component for the light heavyweight division and being someone that you just got to go through. I definitely want to get the undisputed fight and then see what's after that. But that fight did not disappoint. I was happy to see that Bivol got the knockout. Moving on to other performances. Raymond Ford versus Nick Ball. That was a really good fight. Really good fight. I thought that Raymond Ford had did enough in the last 2 rounds, the 11th and the 12th, to come out on top. I really did. And maybe that's me focusing on the power punches that were landed and that were effective, that wobbled Nick Ball. That's why I was kind of giving him the edge. Although I felt like it was a really close fight through and through, I thought those last 2 rounds, because of that, is what gave him the edge on my scorecards. But I mean, I thought all in all, he looked good. We knew that coming into this fight, Ford wanted to step up. He wanted to, vacate and go up and wait. And he decided to stick around to take on the Nick Ball fight. I'm sure he was compensated well for that fight. And unfortunately, he lost the title, which I think, even with him stepping up and wait, I think that it would have helped for him to still have had, I think it was the WBA title, going up, because I think that would have put him in a position to land a title fight right away. And now we're looking at who's in that division. Him stepping up to super featherweight. Yeah. Stepping up to super featherweight at 130. And it's, you think about everybody that holds the title. You got Oshaki. You have, who else you have? You got Oshaki. Two other, I'm forgetting. I can't, damn, who am I forgetting that's in that? Help me out, y'all. I'm looking at my notes too. Either way, it would have helped force him to be a mandatory for a title fight for the WBA. But now that he's lost it, doesn't remove him from having that title opportunity, that mandatory opportunity within the next 2 fights. But I think that he's going to have one other fight before he gets that now. And y'all let me know who y'all want to see him go up against. Let me come back to the chat and see what you guys are saying. Ortiz ain't never making 147 again. He almost killed himself last time. Yeah. Since Ortiz has been back, he's fighting at 154. So I agree. That's definitely dead. That came from Darren Wallace. Chance Livingston, race started too late, reminded me of Tio versus Loma. Tio pulled that fight out, though. That's the difference. Ray almost pulled the fight out. Like I said, he wobbled him twice in the last 2 rounds. I thought he was going to get the late knockout like he did last time. And I'm glad that you said that, because that was one of the things that I was thinking about. I hope that Ford takes from this fight that he can't rely on those later rounds to get stronger and to put on, a shutout performance and to potentially end it in a knockout style. I'm glad that like I said, I'm glad you brought that up, because I did notice that, and that was something that I did take note of, is the fact that he does start late and he relies on being stronger in the later rounds. And going up against a guy like Nick Ball, he was ready. He was ready to go 12 rounds. He stood toe-to-toe with him. He traded with him, and it just didn't play out in his favor. I did feel like Nick Ball was the more aggressive fighter. I felt, it went back and forth, but for the most part, Nick Ball was more aggressive. And I think that is what gave him also the boost in coming out victorious against Ford. But now that he's stepping out, like I said, I think what I see is him having 2 more fights or 1 more fight in his second fight being a mandatory title shot for the WBA. So, yeah. I got some Lamont Roaches in here. Oshaki, Navarrete. Okay. Yep. Navarrete definitely not coming back to 130. He's going to vacate. That's from Chance Livingston. Agreed. Outspoken 520. So going back to that, if that's the case, if that's the case, I'm not sure what his rankings are. I think Navarrete has the WBO belt, I think. So I'm not sure what his rankings are for that, to see if he would be the one that would get that title fight for the vacant belt. But that's a very high possibility. Outspoken 520 boxing, my fight of the year so far this year. Ball was hurt later, but shook it up. Ball was actively and ball activity and determination was showcased. Got the slim victory from me. Yes. The Boxing Menu Podcast Plus, welcome. Hey, salute Jasmine K and chat. Smash that like button. You heard the man. Smash it for me, please. Pause. Lamont Roach and super featherweight. I already read that. Okay. No, I didn't get those videos you sent. I gotta check and see if it went to general. I don't think that it did. Okay, Outspoken said it's the WBO. Yes. All right. So moving on from 5 versus 5. if anybody, before I move on, wants to jump in and wants to talk to those fights that just passed, go ahead and do so. I also wanted to talk about Dubois and what's next for him. I do see a potential matchup for him and AJ. We've been trying to get that for some time now. There's just been issues after issues after issues, but I think that that would be a big fight. I think it'll be a big fight for him to take, and a winnable fight to me for Anthony Joshua, but a challenging fight while we see the rematch between Usyk and Fury. So I would love to see that next. Because otherwise, who is AJ fighting? Who's he fighting? All right, moving on. We got Shushu Bruce Carrington fighting this weekend, this Saturday back in New York. And we also have Xander Zayas, two prospects coming from Top Rank that have certainly climbed the ranks. And I think depending on their performances this weekend, both guys, we could put them in an argument for being ready for a title fight. Shushu, for sure, I'm going to go out and say that his next fight after Saturday night should be a title fight. Xander Zayas, I'm going to say the same thing, but the thing with Xander Zayas, I don't think he has like any small title yet. So I see him maybe taking one more fight one or two more fights before he gets to a title. Although I feel he's ready, but he's in a tough division. So that's that, but definitely looking forward to Shushu's performance. Like I said, I think that he is going to be ready for a title shot next. Y'all let me know what your thoughts are on that. Shushu versus Inoue next. Book it. Yeah, I saw Shushu was calling out for that fight. Says that he's ready. He's confident. I trust in his confidence, and I know that he wouldn't say it if he didn't feel like he was ready for that fight. However, I don't know. Anyways, tough. I mean, Neri showed us some weaknesses. He showed us some loopholes in his game that I think Shushu would be the one to, be able to take advantage of. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to see that fight next. I think why rush it? At the same time, though, I think Shushu would get a lot of experience from taking on that fight. I think he would get a lot of experience. So it's definitely a win-win, regardless of the results. But it's not a fight that I want to see right away. Inoue stand at 122 for the rest of the year, at least. Yeah. I mean, I don't know who. I can't think of who else I would want, like realistically, that's going to give him a challenge. Who else would you want to see him against before moving up? I think him moving up is what's next, honestly. Oh, we're going to get to Adrian. We're going to get to AB and his antics too. Shushu could fight Venado Lopez at 126, Robecio Ramirez. That would be a good one. But like I said, though, I want his next fight to be a title fight. So let's keep that in consideration. I think he's ready for a title shot next. And we think about who has titles in that division. Let's see. Ray Vargas still is the WBC title holder. His last fight was a draw against Nick Ball, right? Yeah. No. Yes. Last fight versus Nick Ball was a draw, so he is still the WBC title holder. And I believe Vargas is signed to Top Ranks, so that could be a possibility. Let's see. Let's run down the list as well. Who else is there? I think what would be better, Ray Vargas. I think Ray Vargas would be a good fight for him. I think that would be a good fight. Espinoza, he lost. I mean, Espinoza beat Robesi Ramirez. So he has a fight coming up versus Sanchez. And given that he wins, I think that that could also be another good fight. Espinoza is with Top Rank. So I think between those two, those are the more realistic. Now, if I had to choose between Espinoza and Ray Vargas, I think I would go the WBC route, and I would go with trying to take on Espinoza next. I mean, Ray Vargas next. Espinoza might be too big. The height advantage is definitely something to consider. It's a big factor. It's a big factor. Shushu's not the tallest guy. But, I mean, Robesi Ramirez, he fought Espinoza, I thought, fairly well, despite the outcome. So I think that Shushu would be able to still put on a good fight despite the height difference between the two. Okay, let's go up. Okay, yeah, Outspoken 520 Boxing is confirming that it was a draw. The Boxing Menu wants to know if I think that the Freedom Belt is racist. I do not. It is in celebration of Juneteenth. I think the WBC does a great job actually of presenting these different belts for these championship caliber fights. We see all the time with Canelo. WBC always get a spectacular fight. I mean, spectacular belt for Canelo. In the last fight, they did a Mexican theme belt. So I don't think it's racist at all. I think it's right up their alley, and I'm not surprised that they did it. And I think this is actually the first Juneteenth belt that they've done. So I think it's dope. I think it's dope. I Hate Never Sobers. Espinoza might be too big. We talked about that. Fedora versus Shushu on a turkey card. Figueroa versus Shushu on a turkey card. Yeah. Hey, I was talking about Top Rank versus PBC. So not necessarily a title fight, but that wouldn't be a bad matchup. But I think Figueroa I feel like Figueroa, didn't he step up? Is he? I can't remember. Between all these guys stepping up and whatnot this year, I'm trying to keep up. The Boxing Menu Podcast Plus, Super Real Matias fight, June 15th too. Ooh, I forgot about that. I'm excited to see him back in the ring. Vargas is a more winnable fight and more clout. I agree. Fig fought Masayo last at 126. Okay. Did I watch that fight? I did watch that fight. And Figueroa just didn't, I don't know. He just didn't look as good. Robesi Ramirez versus Rafael Espinoza was my fight of the year last year. You know what? I can't remember what fight was going on at the same time, but that fight almost got overlooked because there was another fight taking place at the same time. And I remember watching the other fight. Again, I can't remember which fight it was. And then afterwards, going straight to the Espinoza versus Ramirez fight and catching it like the last 4 or 3 rounds. Lady J, are you a true boxing guru? You are cool. Thank you for that, Michael Brown. I wouldn't label myself as a guru, but a student of the game, someone who is actively learning, educating myself, and becoming more knowledgeable about boxing so that I can talk my knowledge and spit my facts with you guys. Chance Livingston, who do you think the head man is at middleweight? I think the one who fought Amo is coming for them straps. Middleweight still got some good action going on there. Shushu should fight Elijah Pierce now. Again, not to say it wouldn't be a bad fight, but I want Shushu in a title fight next. Period. All right. Yes, to chat live, guys. If you're on Instagram, thank you for joining. But jump on to YouTube at Jasmine K Boxing to chat live. If you do want to jump in on Instagram and I could, have the audio side by side, I am accepting that. And Hefe, I'm about to add you so you can talk your stuff. Genovic versus Adams needs to happen ASAP. Yo,
what's up? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I just wanted to I agree with you though. I feel like Shushu definitely need to be in a title fight. I mean, he's 27. What you waiting for? I feel like Top Rank be baby and they fighters. I feel like they do a good job of building them up, but I feel like at some point you gotta, get them in there. And I feel like he, it ain't really too much left for him to do on the prospect level, so it's time for him to step it up for sure.
I agree. I definitely feel as though, like you said, pointing to age, he's kind of getting towards those peak years in boxing. And I think Top Rank has done a good job of building him up. And I think what's next is a title fight. I mean, at this point, it's like, what else is left to prove as a prospect? Now it's like, okay, push him up. And we know that's the thing with Top Rank. Like you said, they do a good job of pushing they prospects, and then certain guys, if they fit the mold or criteria, they push them even more as they become at the peak of their career. So I think this is a good opportunity for Top Rank to show that, that they could push the style of Shushu being a black fighter. I think they definitely need to show that they can push a black fighter, similar to what they did with Shakur, but I feel like they just hit a wall with Shakur, unfortunately.
Yeah. Unfortunately. And speaking, I wouldn't say they hit a wall, but I mean, he just got to run it back with De Los Santos. I mean, that's it. I feel like he got to run it back with him. I don't even know why he moved on. I mean, you got all that backlash from the boxing world. I mean, why are you moving on? Why are you even calling out Tank? You know what I'm saying? Tank, I mean, I would say the only fight that Tank left that was kind of up in the air for a lot of fans was against Pitbull, but at the same time, he was hurt, and I feel like he still, he thugged it out. So I feel like, nobody really want to see a rematch, but Shakur, he left a lot of unanswered, stuff on the table. I mean, he was hurt too, so he said, but I feel like, the boxing world want to see that fight again. And, Shakur getting another fight, but nobody's talking about De Los Santos in the 135 division. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's crazy, but I feel like it's a top rate thing. They protecting their investment, which I don't feel like it's wrong, but just like Jared Anderson, not to go all over the place, but just like Jared Anderson, like, when is he finna step up in competition to fight somebody that we know? You know what I mean? Like, why
he has a fight coming up on the Turkey Out of Sheet card.
Yeah, I seen that. I think he's stepping in for the what's dude name?
Was it? I don't. Was it supposed to be Big Baby? I thought it was supposed to be Big Baby.
Yeah, Big Baby took Tim's due and what's dude came from 147 up to 154. Oscar De La Hoya fighter, Mexican dude.
Virgil?
He was sick. He was real sick at 147.
Ortiz.
Supposed to fight Stanionis. Ortiz, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they Big Baby took the place of them, but yeah, but the dude he fighting, like, who is that dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, his record is smooth. I think he undefeated, or he only lost one fight. You know what I'm saying? But who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so much wreck at the heavyweight division, and I don't know if you've seen it, but Big Baby Miller was calling him out.
Yeah. I don't think
What you think about that?
Nah, I don't think Big Baby Miller ready for that smoke. I think Jared Anderson smokes him.
No, for sure, I do too.
Yeah. I mean, would I tune into the fight? I would.
That we know, though. You know what I'm saying? That's my point.
Yeah. I would tune into it, but nah, I don't think so. I don't think. Yeah, I think he's past that. The thing with Anderson, we got to figure out what motivates him. We got to figure out what's going to keep him focused. And so far, the opponents that he's had, like, it's just not, it doesn't seem to be enough. It doesn't seem to be enough. Miller is fighting Ruiz. Yeah. Ruiz hasn't fought in a minute. So I want to say that's a cake fight. The Ruiz has been extremely inactive. Extremely inactive. But going back to Shakur versus De Los Santos, I think right from a boxing eye, not strictly from a fan, but from a boxing eye, not a boxer. But the fact that Shakur was able to beat De Los Santos and the fact that he had De Los Santos so hesitant and he was injured, I don't feel like there needs to be a rematch. Now, obviously, to fans, it's like they feel like they didn't get their money's worth. They feel like they didn't see a real matchup. They felt like Shakur ran. But I feel like, given circumstances, if you can't touch me with the injured hand, if you can't touch me when I'm at 100, not at 100, why it's gonna be even worse?
So let's see it though. You know what I'm saying? Like the lowest. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like the lowest amount of landed punches ever. Like neither one of them did, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, man. I would love to see it again, but I feel you too, though. I mean, you know, obviously Shakur, he one of the top dogs. So yeah, I feel like, you know, if you're a real boxing fan, it don't really matter who you step in the ring with, you're gonna want to watch. So you know, I mean, but I would just want to see it again because I like De Los Santos. I mean, you know, I don't know how he would do with somebody like Tank, especially, you know, when Ryo did what he did to him. I'm excited about the Ryo Pitbull fight too. I think that's a sleeper. What you think about that?
I think so too. My only worry is, you know, the last minute replacement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was the last minute replacement, right? He was supposed to fight. No. Ortiz was supposed to fight. Okay, I'm thinking. I got Pitbull. I got
Ryo. We should bet on it.
Okay. You let me know what you want to bet.
I bet. I'll let you know. I got Ryo. I think Ryo slept on. And he in that Benavidez camp too. Like, he ready.
He may be ready.
But I wanted to touch on that. What you was saying about Better Viv and Bivol too. Mm-hmm. I feel like with that fight, I agree with you. I wouldn't say that he gonna wear Better Viv down because I feel like Better Viv gonna come in shape. But I think he gonna frustrate him though in the early rounds, in my opinion. But some dude named Steele, he commented on it. I agree with what he said though. I think, you know, if Canelo hurting you, or you know, because Bivol said he felt Canelo power. So if you felt Canelo power, you gonna feel that Better Viv power too. So I think in the earlier rounds, Bivol gonna have success, but eventually, you know, he gonna end up cutting that ring off. And we're going to have to see if he can take a punch. You know what I'm saying? If he can take a punch. And then, you know, I think that's going to really determine it.
Okay, so it sounds like you're going for Better Biv.
Honestly, really don't care who wins, to be honest with you.
Okay.
You know, I like Bivol. You know, I like Better Biv too. But I'm not really a fan of either one. I really just want to see a good fight.
Yeah, I think Bivol's going to be able to take his power. I think so. Even though he took some of Canelo's best shots, and Canelo was trying to rip into him. And obviously, we're talking about different weight divisions, but still, I think that Canelo's power does translate up to the light heavyweight. I don't know how it compares to Better Biv. We'll have to see. But I think that he can take the power. And I think that Bivol's going to be the one. I can't remember. I know you said somebody was going to frustrate somebody in the earlier rounds, and I can't remember who it was. But I think
Bivol going to frustrate him early.
I think so too. Because the thing is, Bivol can box the same way for 12 straight rounds. 12 straight rounds, no matter what you throw at him, like, he is going to be the same. So I think that that's going to be frustrating. And I think he's going to break him down. You know, like, I think he's going to pick his shots. And I just see, I don't see it being a knockout fight by either guys, but I give Bivol the edge. Thrill said he's given Bivol by split decision.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at Bivol by split decision. You know, because I mean, I feel like if he just stays smart and he box him, I feel like he can win. He just gonna have to, you know, be able to take a punch because he gonna hit him. You ain't gonna go 12 rounds without getting hit. So if he can take that punch, I definitely believe that Bivol is a better boxer. He just got to be able to take that punch when it's coming at him. So
he gonna eat it. He gonna eat that. He gonna eat that.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna hold you. I'm gonna hop off, but I do want to talk about AB though. What you think about AB? I know you were saying be patient and shit, but
all right. So
you got other people that want to hop on and shit too. I just want to hear your opinion on that.
We'll jump back to that. Somebody, the Boxing Menu Podcast Plus said Pro Box fights are at 8 p.m. on YouTube. And yes, I do want to tune into those. So I got about 20 minutes left with y'all. So we can touch on AB real quick. Honestly, I have no expectations for that fight. I have zero expectations. I feel like I'm coming in and I'm watching as a spectator, like as a casual fan, because we just have not seen AB in a ring in a minute. He has been open about everything that happened between him and Don King and the contract and what they had agreed to not being lived up to. But it looked as though that fight fell apart because of AB, because of what he had going on. To me, he didn't look like he was in shape for that last fight. He looks to be in shape for this fight. I'm impressed. It seems like he's taking it serious. Who fought last April? AB? It's been over a year.
That lawyer dude that he fought, that was a lawyer.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
It was he beat him down. It was a mismatch.
Oh, well, it's still been over a year at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, we'll see. I think that it's ironic though that AB got his panties in a bunch over Cobb, and he be the main one trolling all his opponents coming into the fight. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was ironic. I thought it was funny.
I think he's still trolling. I think he just trying to, get some attention on the fight. He's fighting with Don King. Ain't nobody really paying attention to that. But, I think the fact that Tank is highlighting it is dope, and I like that in camp with them. I feel like Coach Kenny and Calvin, I feel like them is definitely some good dudes to have in your corner, because I feel like, he said he got bodies. Like, man, that nigga trolling, man.
Man, what?
He trolling. But
about to get caught up.
I got AB though, man. I think, don't get me wrong, I feel like AB got to stay sharp the whole fight, because Blair, one of them mixed athletic kids that you grew up with that could do everything, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like AB got the experience. I feel like if he stays sharp, he can outbox him. I don't really see him knocking him out, but I feel like he can outbox him. He stays sharp. I mean, he's been in the ring with greats. So I feel like he got the experience to pull it off. He just got to let his hands go. So I think AB can get him. But I ain't sleep on Blair neither, though. I feel like Blair definitely he a force too.
When's the last time Blair fought? Like I said, I haven't just not looked into this fight at all.
He fought dude that Bomac was training. I think his name was Hitchison or something like that, or not Hitchison. I don't know. He was a dude in Bomac's camp, because he had lost to Rocha, and then he came back, but he took that Rocha fight on short notice, and then he came back and fought one of the Bomac fighters. I forgot dude's name, but they had him as an underdog, and then he ended up winning that fight, and that was the last time he fought. But he was going through like some contract stuff with Golden Boy and everything like that, so he really been just trying to get back situated. So he got a lot to. I mean, it's a big fight for him too. I feel like it's gonna be a good fight.
Okay, we'll see. Thrill said he fought Maurice Hooker last.
Maurice Hooker, that's his name.
Yeah,
that's his name. Yeah, Bomac was training him for that fight.
Whoa, wait a minute. Do we got Wilder in the chat right now? Do we got Bomb Squad in the chat right now?
On what? Deontay Wilder in this one?
That would be crazy.
Keep your head up, champ. You know what I'm saying? Hey, keep your head up, champ, man. You had a good reign, 10 title defenses. You know what I mean? Shit, you put your life on the line, man. We respect you. I feel like all the real boxing fans respect you, man. So stay up, man. Shit, whatever you decide to do, we supporting you. And I feel like, before I let you go, I feel like you can't really call yourself a casual. You know what you're talking about. I fuck with your channel.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm gonna let you go though. It was nice talking to you, and shit for the Pitbull Ryo fight. Shit, we can shit. Let's bet. I don't know. All right, well, I think about it.
All right. Thank you for coming on.
Easy.
Thank you for chatting with us. I'll catch you next time. You too. Yes. Like you said, earlier yesterday I went live and I was asked if I thought Deontay Wilder will be Hall of Famer, if he'll be inducted into the Hall of Fame class. And I think yes, 100%. I said it yesterday. And since we do got Bomb Squad in the chat, if this is Deontay Wilder, I would love to have you on. But definitely keep your head up. I mean, not the way that we wanted to see you go out in that last fight. You've done a lot of great things for the sport of boxing. You've held the heavyweight division on your back for years. You've been the most exciting fighter in the heavyweight division. You've given everybody, in my opinion, in the United States something to be proud of. And to consider you our champion has been none less than a privilege to see you over the last several years compete. Would we love to see you to keep going? Absolutely, but only if it makes sense for you, champ. Hats off. Phenomenal career up until this point. Obviously, it's not over until you say it's over, but we really appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yeah. I mean, I pointed to the fact that everything that you've accomplished, in the time that you've been boxing, and the fact that we are just now getting an undisputed heavyweight champion in the last 10 plus years. So for you to be a world champion as a heavyweight for all these years is something to be recognized, and it's something that stands on its own. So when it comes to being a Hall of Famer, forget what everybody has to say. Forget about the style, that people didn't like it, if they loved it. Like you the accolades stand on their own. So there's that. In the last couple of years, there's been a lot of factors, champ. It's been a lot. You fought 3 tough fights against arguably one of the best heavyweights in this era, not to mention yourself as well. We know that was not easy. And then you fought through your coaching changes, got with Malik Scott. I think from what we've been able to see, he's been able to do some great things in a later end of your career. But we all know that's a tough transition, going to different coaches and having different styles, being presented to you, and finding a coach that is willing to coach you for who you are and not add too much to it. So there's that. But I'm getting long-winded. I said all this yesterday, but we got the champ on, so I wanted to say it again. Thank you, Bomb Squad. I hope to see you back, maybe in a fight, if that's what you want, if it's a fight that makes sense. I definitely think that you have a long-winded career post being inside the ring, calling fights, being involved in a lot of corners, and the development of some of these young fighters coming up. A lot of them can use your wisdom. So I look forward to see what's next. I look forward to seeing what your decision is, and what you decide to do going forward. But I really appreciate you joining us live. Wish I could have you on. Maybe I can get you on in another interview outside of this. Anybody else want to add something to that? Yeah. Thanks for the great fights. Yes. All right. What else we got in here? So ProBox has some fights coming on in 10 minutes, 8 p.m. on YouTube. I definitely want to tune into those. That right hand still had Fury and cold sweats. For sure. Lots and lots of love for Bomb Squad. Well, I guess on that note, I mean, where else did we go from here? We've been blessed with Deontay Wilder to join the chat. We've tipped our hats off to him. We talked 5 versus 5. We talked Shushu, Xander Zayas coming up next this Saturday, as well as Super Real Matias making his return back to the ring. Oh, you know what I didn't get into? I didn't get into my 5 versus 5. I want to see Top Rank versus PBC. Some people say PBC is going to hell. Because their fighters are leaving and there's so much stuff going on. Who knows? But I do know that they have some great champions, and I know that they could make some great fights still. A lot of people were saying, you know, the card that I put up, 5 versus 5, Top Rank versus PBC, was a fire card, but is it realistic? Are they going to be able to get past their differences to make that type of card happen? And I say, in Turkey Al Sheik, we trust. Because at this point, my man's is putting up the money and he's making stuff move. He is shifting boxing, making boxing great again. And I think that anything is possible. Anything is possible with Turkey Al Sheik being involved. With the money that they have over in Saudi Arabia, I think with a lot of fighters kind of fleeing away from PBC, if you will, I think that this is the time for them to show that they will push their fighters, that they will, and not that they can, because they can, but that they will. So, yeah. If y'all didn't see it, I'll run through it real quick. I have 5 fighters at all title fights at that. Both Top Rank and PBC got enough fighters that are champions that we can get some great matchups. So I had Teofimo versus Isaac Cruz for the super lightweight division, WBO and WBA title on the line. I think, that's a good fight. A good fight. I'm even going to give Tio the edge. Y'all let me know in the chats who y'all would give the edge to. Who would win between Teofimo and Isaac Cruz? Then I had, of course, the highly anticipated fight that we all want to see, and that is Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis. I think Shakur is WBC, he's the WBC title holder, and Tank is the WBA title holder. Unification fight, another one. Big fight, huge fight. Okay, I see Tio. Yeah, I see T.O. in here for being a winner against Isaac Cruz. Bob Arum not finna agree to that, Jazz. You know better. Bob Arum, listen, both of these men, they better make the fight happen. I don't want to say they on their deathbeds, but they ain't young, okay? They're not young. And eventually, it will be a Top Rank without Bob Arum and a PBC without Al Heyman. Obviously, Bob is much older, but they need to get over their differences for the sake of boxing. For the sake of boxing, let's just make it happen. So, like I said, highly anticipated fight that we already want to see. Tank versus Shakur, unification fight at 135, lightweight division. Then I had for the welterweight division, Brian Norman Jr., who just became the WBO interim champion, and Mario Barrios, who is the WBC interim champion. And I say that because we already know that Terrence Crawford has all the titles, but he's moved up to super welterweight, which means he's probably not coming down. And eventually those titles will be vacated, and we'll have an opportunity for these guys who are already the interim title holders to become and be elevated, hate to say it, to the champion. So I think that will be a firefight. I actually am giving Brian Norman the edge, and not just because he's from Atlanta. I think what I saw in his last fight, I'm giving him the edge. Let's see. All right. Moving on to the super middleweight, I had Christian McBilly, who currently does not hold any title, versus David Morrell. Now, this was contingent because David Morrell has a fight coming up for the vacant WBA super middleweight title. So, given that he wins, which I'm pretty sure he will, yeah, I would like to see him versus McBilly. Morrell by Morrell by murder. McBilly, he ain't gonna, come on now, put some respect on McBilly's name. Put some respect on McBilly's name. I definitely give Morrell the edge, but McBilly, he's not gonna lay down. He's definitely not gonna lay down. All right, moving on to the light heavyweight, I had Artur Beterbiev versus David Benavidez. Now, this is obviously Beterbiev wouldn't take that fight. This is a dream fight. He wouldn't take a fight versus Benavidez before he gets the opportunity to fight for undisputed with Bivol. But given that it's a top rank versus PBC, let's say Beterbiev wins, then I would want to see him versus David Benavidez. Another great fight. I got Benavidez all day in that one. I actually got Benavidez. I think Benavidez versus Bivol will be the tougher fight, but I got Benavidez no matter what. No matter what. So that was my 5 versus 5. I see y'all dropping who y'all would pick. Oh, ADST said he got Barrios by decision. Barrios over Brian Norman. T.O. for sure. Tank by KO. Tank by KO versus Shakur? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Shakur ain't gonna he's not gonna let Tank knock him out. Shakur is too smart for that. Too smart for that. I'm giving him more credit. Okay, what else we got? Morrell went to 175. He did, but I think Morrell will come back down. I don't know. I think we have a better chance of Morrell coming down than we do of Benavidez coming down. But yeah. I think Morrell is too much for McBilly. I agree. McBilly, he gets hit too much. And Morrell is just going to be a target. Like I said, I'm not saying that McBilly's going to lay down and it's going to be an easy fight, but I do feel as though McBilly gets hit way too much. Takes way too many punches. Yeah. Thrill said McBilly going to run into something. He has power, but he throws one punch at a time and telegraphs a lot. Mexican monster, Benavidez in a war, can't swim without getting wet. The Shakur hate is crazy. Let him fight Moratella next so people can stop the narratives. My thing is, as fans, we just always forget. We always looking at the last fight. We're always looking at the last fight to critique the fighter. But I feel as though, giving Shakur the credit that he deserves, he said that he was injured. I believe that he was injured. I thought coming into that fight versus De Los Santos, I thought that the way he started he was going to last that way for like 3 rounds. And then when it got to the 6th round, I was like, okay, something's wrong. Because he kept at the same pace. He kept at the same game plan. He never turned it on. Shakur versus Oscar Valdez. Shakur versus Rob Conceição. Like, go back to those fights. Like, Shakur, he's about that action. When he has to fight, he will fight. And when he finds himself able to box, he does that. But he can fight and he can box. So, yeah, the hate is crazy. But I don't think necessarily that he needs to have a fight to I guess, vindicate himself. That's me, though. That's me. Whatever Shakur do, he bet not sign over his career to PBC just for a tank fight. You see, Bud was trapped in a rematch knowing that Spence didn't want a round 2. Yeah, luckily for Bud, though, even though the way that things played out, and I feel like it drug for a little bit, I think he still got out in time. Like, he's still fighting, you know. He fought Spence in what, September? So will we have liked to see him more active than what we've seen? Absolutely. But he got out of it and he's moving on. So, but I think with the way that things are going with PBC, there's definitely some caution to be regarded for Shakur if he does decide to go that route. Yeah, and I feel like with the spat between Tank and Floyd, I don't know how that's going to affect the relationship with Al Heyman, although I know it's separate. The entities are so close. Speaking of which, somebody said Ellerby is no longer with Floyd. Oh, we at 802. I heard that. I got to check. I got to look into that. Because I wonder if so, what the hell happened? And what the hell is about to happen with Floyd? Seems as though Floyd is just facing a lot of backlash right now. A lot of backlash. All right, y'all. It's been real. Thank you for jumping on and talking boxing with me. Livingston says, Ellerby, the reason we ain't seeing Tank fight his rivals, all the business bullshit he be talking. Well, apparently he's no longer with Floyd. I gotta fact check that and see what went wrong. But maybe that's why he's not with him. It's because of the relationship. Who knows? Either way, I appreciate you guys joining me live. If you haven't smashed the like button, please do so. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do me a favor and subscribe. My YouTube channel is Jasmine K Boxing. Every Wednesday, you know the deal. We go live. We talk boxing, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I've enjoyed today's conversation. I've enjoyed the interaction throughout the chats. We have Bomb Squad on here. That's crazy to me. So until next time, stay safe, stay dangerous.